most graceful member of, well, the New World in general, and I do think this species actually should replace Rathalos in the New World as well. And honestly, it could have been a flagship in its own right. Legiana and Shrieking Legiana have actually made themselves to be one of the best battles to actually grace the community. And actually, some of the reviews I've seen is that Legiana is actually a pretty fun and mixed battle in general. Now, when it comes to Legiana and Shrieking Legiana, I do believe the Legiana variants start off as young females and young males, or maybe adult females in some younger males. But as they move to the Hoarfrost, the males normally stay there and actually adjust themselves to fighting against tougher opponents, making them much bigger, stronger, and have better ice control than their female counterparts. Kind of like a Rathalos and Rathian situation. I do believe that Rathalos and Rathian start off as the same species, but over time simply just diversed with each other in, sexual dimorphism. But anyway, let's start off with the Coral Highlands. The Coral Highlands is basically a land undersea place. It's basically an undersea kingdom on land. Here, Legiana pretty much rules over everything, alright? Other than Elder Dragons, Legiana can actually feed on just about anything. TTTC Yaku is definitely a prey item, but probably not a common prey item. Now, common prey items would definitely include the Raphanos and the likes of Palumu and Coral Puki. Palumu is probably its more common prey item since Puki showed up, because Palumu simply provides it all it needs. It's a nice meaty banquet for a creature like Legiana. It's very possible there are larger creatures that existed here before, but now with Palumu, it seems that Legiana simply dominates it in its entirety. Palumu really can't escape via aerial combat or aerial, evasion, because Legiana is such a graceful flyer and knows how to use the wind to manipulate its build, and its agility surpasses that of even Rathalos in the air. Now, Coral Puki, and here's my theory about this. As a matter of fact, you guys should already know, Ecology is mainly based off of theory and speculation here, especially when it comes to how creatures adapted with each other. I believe that Coral Puki came in when, Legiana migrated to the Hoarfrost region, right? Or the Hoarfrost Reach. This means that an abundance of Puki actually collected here and began to adapt to this environment. This Puki will only have to be able to fight off and even share food with Palumu and fight off against TTTC Yaku, and would occasionally see Odogaron prey upon its kind, which was probably nothing too much to worry about. But as soon as Legiana came back here, I do believe there was an entire massacre of, of Coral Puki to reduce its population. The Legiana saw that they had another food source, and they immediately sprung to try it out and test it. As for competition, Legiana only has to worry about, I do believe, maybe just one other predator. Now, while Zinogre and Nargacuja do frequent the Coral Highlands and do like it, I don't think they're really main predators that stay there. To me, their main areas are areas like the the ancient forest. Fulgor Anjanath, who also goes there, and in all honesty, he's an invasive species. He mainly belongs to the Hoarfrost Reach, but for some reason he just appears everywhere on the map. It's very likely that's due to hunting Bonbro. As I say to my Fulgor Anjanath video, it's possible he just follows the Bonbro herds. But in all honesty, Legiana's only competition in the Hoarfrost Reach are Pink Rathian and Odogaron. Pink Rathian is a much heavier and much stronger Rathian, possibly being stronger than an Azor Rathalos, which is a very big deal considering Azor Rathalos are capable of going blow for blow with, Deviljho. Rathians are also known to, have encounters with Kushala Daora. Sometimes, being able to fight it off because of its poison abilities. But you would have to put the strength behind it in order to inflict the poison ability on top of, of a strong armored elder dragon like Kushala Daora. All right. So pink Rathians are definitely stronger than Legiana, but I think Legiana wins because it's more aerodynamic than a Rathian. Rathians aren't really built for aerodynamics. They're mainly built for, strong attacks. They're mainly built for strength here. But its real competition is Odogaron. Odogaron frequently visits the Coral Highlands, okay, to actually go out and hunt for prey rather than scavenge. It's very possible that it does scavenge Legiana's previous kills over, well, the 3 monsters I named earlier. Even some Raphanos scavenging or hunting, if you will. Pretty much hunting the creatures really just, ensures its successful, its success rate and its, hunger rate. All right. It's not as hungry as, something like Deviljho. Ebony Odogaron is kind of like just a random anomaly, just kind of like how Deviljho is. It's just, it comes there, it comes there. If it doesn't, it doesn't. All right. So Legiana honestly deals with everything very fine here, but it's just the fact that Odogaron may be a problem. It may even hunt Legiana, challenging its role as an apex predator. And with Legiana simply being, well, a prey item on Odogaron's list here, it's very possible that it simply attacks Odogaron out of self-defense rather than a territorial dispute here. But that doesn't help if your, well, I guess somewhat natural predator is capable of getting around you and clamping down on your neck. But again, at least Legiana is able to retaliate before it can deal a finishing blow with throwing him off. But this does mean Odogaron is very capable of preying on a Legiana if it puts its mind to it. And again, with those claws that are meant to just dig in and bleed, and they're like rip, tear, and bleed claws, I just really think that, Legiana is in a lot of trouble when going against something like Odogaron rather than going up against something like Deviljho, whose jaws are not really built for that. But in all honesty, Legiana actually has one natural predator, and that's actually Velkhana. Velkhana was actually seen trying to actively hunt and take down Legiana during the flock, meaning that it's actively hunting these Legiana and proving to be a problem. But in all honesty, I think this is where we do get to the Hoarfrost Reach here. You see, Velkhana does stop at a certain point when hunting Legiana, and that's when they reach the Hoarfrost Reach. Why? And I think it's because Shrieking Legiana. Now, hear me out. I do think Shrieking Legiana is Elder Dragon level. Now, here's why. The fact that it has to compete with so many monsters that are capable of harming Elder Dragons. And the Legiana there would have to encounter Elder Dragons that frequently visit, and the sheer fact that the New World is actually able to support Elder Dragons, meaning the entire species of them, this means that they're able to have, that means they have to be able to deal with these guys, And this means, I do believe that, well, Cam and Ryder's right about this artwork, that they're able to bully and harass some Elder Dragons off their area. This includes Velkhana. And I do believe the Shrieking Legiana pretty much give it the edge here because these male variants, in my opinion, are capable of pretty much tossing around a Legiana together. Individually, I do think they could put up a scrap against Legiana, but not ultimately win. But with the claws being much stronger and much tougher, and the ice the ice manipulation being much more powerful, they should be able to contend with an Elder Dragon. That's also to show they have to deal with a lot more creatures that are stronger than them, or at least used to be stronger than them. Bombaro isn't a prey item. I don't believe that. Bombaro is too bulky and would absolutely mess up a Shrieking Legiana. Because here's the thing, Bombaros actually have to deal with Fulgor and Jannath on the daily. And they might have to deal with other invasive predators a lot. Even being able to eat the likes of Diablos' cactus would mean you have to have the strength to compete with a male Diablos. And Bombaro seems like it does that very easily if you can get these two together. and I've actually experienced this myself, putting down predators like Tiger-Rex. Now, this also means Shrieking Legiana will also have to compete with Tiger-Rex and the likes of, again, Fulgor, Anjanath, and Barioth. We already seen turf wars between Shrieking Legiana and Barioth are pretty common, okay? And Barioths are the apex predators of the, well, Hoarfrost Reach, or basically any Arctic region in general. This means that, and I do believe this is a thing, Shrieking Legiana was the apex predator before Barioth decided to come into the New World. And with the, well, the reduction in hunter influence in the Hoarfrost Reach, this means older and more experienced Barioths have been able to reach their Frostfang forms, which are Elder Dragon level. And we see the turf war doesn't really change here. Now, whether it's a game mechanic or pretty much being legit here, this does mean that, well, they compete with these Elder Dragon-like monsters, okay? The sheer fact that they're competing with monsters that can crunch through bone and solid metal is just absolutely ridiculous entirely. All right, these Shrieking Legiana, or these male Legiana, are simply there to not only protect their females, but to protect their nests as well, and even live in these kind of environments. I actually wish they were in Monster Hunter Rise so we can see a turf war between them and Lunagaron. I do think if they actually go into that world, Lunagaron would actually be a very formidable predator for them, considering I do believe Lunagaron actually surpasses Barioth as an apex predator, even taking its role as the apex predator of the Arctic in that region. But in all honesty, I do love Legiana, and I love that they gave it a variant to make it more like Rathalos, in my opinion. But hey, please comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends. And be sure to stay to the end for the next monster.